This is a video about why I don't sell crash courses, if you want to call them that, like intense courses to learn how to drive. I would never teach somebody to drive if they had their driving test on Friday and they'd never been in a car before on the Monday. I would never do that. So this is my take on it, okay? So people can obviously add to the comments if they want. I've been a driving instructor for 23 years and I think that, let's just put it into a different category. If you were going to do a televised piano piece in front of 1 million people on Friday, you wouldn't want to start learning the piano on Monday. Yeah? If it was televised on Friday, you'd want so much more time to learn the piano to be able to get it right, because let's just face it, right? If you weren't ready, you would pull a sickie. You wouldn't go. There'd be something wrong with you on Friday for you not to go to the televised 1 million viewers thing of your piano concerto. You wouldn't go, right? So I just want to talk about this in a little bit more depth from like loads of different points of view so you can get a feel for it. It's been, people contact me and they're like, I've got a test booked and it's in 6 weeks. Under the circumstances of how the tests have been booked at the moment, it is likely that that person had their test booked a long time ago, because we all know it's an absolute nightmare to get tests, right? So that person would have been able to know that they've had their test booked for about 5, maybe even 6 months, right? So leaving it until the last minute to get driving lessons is not a good idea. If you contact somebody as a learner and you say, my test is in 4 weeks, my test is in 6 weeks, can you give me driving lessons? I guarantee that the driving instructor, unless they're dodgy, is going to say no, because the driving instructor knows that they can't get you ready in that time unless they don't care about you at all and they just want your money. Okay, so that's another story. So I know driving instructors who in the past have just like answered the phone and gone, yeah, you can have my car, yeah, no problem at all. That's going to be £250 because they put like, you know, a charge on it and stuff like that. Now the DVSA found out about all of this and they tried to put heavier rules on driving instructors so this would all stop, because people were making a living off you, because they know that people just phone up and want a car for their test, right? So people were cashing in. So I think that's less likely. But some people who are retiring, they don't care. They just want the money, right? And they just want to go off to Mallorca. I said that because of the old advert. Are you old enough to know about that? The water in Mallorca don't taste like it oughta. Anyway, so like my take on this is this, right? If you're learning to drive, it's a very, very emotional experience. If there's anything that's going on in your life at all, it will affect your driving. And you never know when things are going to happen to you, right? If you've got a pet and it passes away, that is going to destroy you, right? You're not going to be able to learn how to drive for a bit. If anything happens to you with your relationship, it is going to destroy your learning capabilities, right? If somebody in your family passes away, like, you know, you never know when stuff's going to happen. You might get a medical diagnosis. If you are leaving the driving until the very last minute and you've got a week, 5 weeks, 6 weeks to learn how to drive, you need to move your test, unless you've got previous experience. If it happens that a student books their driving test and it's like, okay, yeah, but then they stop having driving lessons and then they come back and then they want to have like an intensive course to get ready for the test. Say something happened in their life and they're like, I really can't face driving at the moment, which is really common. I can't face this at the moment, I'm just going to leave it. And then they think, oh, my test is coming up, it's in like 2 weeks. And then they put lots of pressure on their driving instructor. You're both in it together. You're a team, right? So your driving instructor is going to start freaking out because the pressure that is now on for both of you, right? If you then say, okay, I just want to book you for loads and loads of lessons. Yeah, if you know that you're not ready and you want to book loads of lessons, the instructor may be like weighing it up, going, oh gosh, you know, like, can I get this person ready in time? Have I got the time to be able to do this? Yeah. And then when you're in the car, then both of you are under that huge amount of pressure to be able to get it done. And when you make mistakes, when there's a test knocking at the door, it's not fun anymore, yeah, for either of you, because both of you are getting very stressed. The instructor is thinking, how can I give this person the car when I know that they're going to fail? The instructor is dealing with all of their own stuff as well. If they have too many fails, they're going to have to do driving exams. They're going to have to prove to the DVSA that they're okay as a driving instructor. So they cannot allow you to go to a test. If they let all their students just go whenever they want, they're gonna be alerted to the DVSA. So they've got that strongly in their mind. Also, if you take the car and you're not ready, it may get damaged on test. So is the driving instructor prepared to give you their car, which is how they earn money in their life, for you to go out and maybe pop the wheel, damage the alloy, crash, turn, not make it, damage all of the steering system, yeah, knock out the systems and stuff like that. If they don't know you, it's unlikely that they're going to give you the car that they use to create money for their own life. So if you are approaching this driving test and you're not ready, and then it's going to be really, really stressful for both of you. You need more time. You need to stretch it out like the piano concerto, right? You need to think, for both of us, we need time. I have lots of students contact me, whether it's real or not, and they say, I've been let down by my driving instructor. This happens all the time, maybe even on a daily basis. I get an email or some kind of message, my instructor's let me down. I don't know what's going on, but sometimes it's like my driving instructor has had a divorce and they're not doing it anymore. My driving instructor's got medical things, they've stopped. That my driving instructor has stopped being a driving instructor. I need a driving blah, 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 right? But also, your driving instructor has also got their own life. What happens if they have anything that comes up and they can't see you for your driving lessons? Because they're a human as well. Yeah? So I strongly recommend that when you're learning to drive, that you pace it out. Pace it out. Don't have a driving test booked and then wait until you're like literally 3 weeks away, because you don't know what's going to happen to you in those 3 weeks. What happens if you get COVID? What happens if you get the flu? What happens if somebody in your world, something happens and you can't come to these driving lessons? The atmosphere in the car is going to change because there's going to be stress between you and your driving instructor. So both of you are kind of stressed for different reasons, you know. So I strongly recommend that you stretch it out, yeah? Think of the piano thing, okay? It's so important. The experience of learning to drive is a beautiful experience. Like my student yesterday passed first time in this lovely heat that we've got, right? And it was a beautiful experience. She just learnt every week. We were a team. When she booked her test, we were a team about it. I was like, okay, this is the point where I think that we should book the test, because we're now halfway through our learning in the way I teach. We're now halfway through the learning. We've got all of the manoeuvres left to learn. We've got all of the test routes to learn if you're going to be doing it in this area, because I do show people difficult parts of the test routes. And we've got all this time for mock tests. We booked it as a team together because we're a team, yeah? Then She went to her test with a weekly, pretty much a weekly lesson. Plus she had some driving lessons in her own car. Not many actually. Some, which is great. And she passed first time, and the whole situation was a beautiful experience. Now there's like loads and loads of blame that goes on, you know, when people say, oh, you know, my driving instructor has let me down. It's a difficult one to know what the reality is. I don't know what the reality is. Did the driving instructor just say, look, you're not ready, and then they have declined you, and then somebody's like searching for another instructor to quickly do it? I don't know. I mean, how are we supposed to know? We don't know what's going on. But my advice to you is, like, learn to drive with somebody that you like. Learn to drive with someone that you trust. Learn to drive with somebody who you feel knows, they know what they're talking about. Yeah? Consider, and I'm not saying like, look, I know everybody has to start somewhere, but consider, you know, how many years has the person been in it, you know, because that can make such a difference. How long is it going to take them to pick up on the fault? Look, I know that's a difficult one because driving instructors have to begin. Of course they do, and they need to get the experience. Like, so that's a difficult one. But you just need to make sure that you really get on with this person and that you trust them, you know, and that you're a team. Whatever you do, be a team, you know. Do things together as a team. If you feel that your driving instructor is terrible, then leave them, you know. If you know in your heart, and you know in your heart whether you're being ripped off, yeah, if that's even a thing. I mean, they'd have to be really bad to be ripping you off. I mean, there's so much work. I mean, you know, there's so much work. But yeah, I just feel that, you know, you need to be a team and don't rush it. You know, take these lessons like in an orderly fashion, coming up to the test. You know, don't rush it. Don't leave it until the last minute, because the stress levels are really high. And when you make mistakes, it's not fun anymore. You know, you're making mistakes and it's really, really stressful for both of you. All right, guys. So yeah, I really hope this bit of information helps you. And of course, I'll see you on the next video.